Hi guys, and welcome back to Victori's Creations. If you're new here, welcome. I hope you stick around and enjoy the tutorial. So today's video is going to be our wreath of the month. I don't know if you remember, but when we did our Valentine wreath a few weeks ago, in the newsletter that went along with that video tutorial, I stated in there that we were going to try and do a wreath of the month. So I want to do a wreath every month that is going to coincide with the holiday of that month. So like last month was Valentine's Day. This month will be St. Patty's Day. So I have no idea what direction this wreath is going to end up in. I have some ideas, but we'll see where it takes us because this one is going to be a plan as you go kind of deal. So if you're ready for the chaos, if you're ready to get started and see how this wreath turns out, follow me over to my crafting table. We'll go over everything that I have that you're going to need for this project or you could need for this project, and then we'll get started. Okay guys, so here is all of my chaos for today's project. Like I said, I don't know that we're going to use everything, but we have it for just in case. Kind of have an idea where this is going, but let's see. For today's project, this is what we're going to need, or could need. 14-inch wreath form, Chenille stems or pipe cleaners, mesh tubes, Deco Mesh, ribbon, tool, and our centerpiece. Everything you see here came from Dollar Tree with the exception of the tool. I got that from our Michael store, when our local Michael store, I don't really know if I should say went out of business or decided to just shut down that particular store, but that's where that came from. Everything else strictly from Dollar Tree. A couple items I forgot to mention: the ruler, the pair of scissors, and the rotary cutter, as well as I have the self-healing mats to keep from messing up my table. Step 1, prep your materials. The first thing we need to do is get all of our items prepped. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start cutting some stuff up. I'm not going to cut everything because as of right now, although I have in my head kind of a direction I want to go in, I'm not 100% sure the direction. So I don't want to cut everything up just in case I don't use everything. But I am going to cut some of everything to get us started. Starting with our Chenille stems. Because these are going to be on the back of your wreath, it really doesn't matter what color you use. I have the green. These came from Dollar Tree. They were in the St. Patrick's Day decor stuff. Like I said, you're not going to see these, so it doesn't really matter what color they are. It doesn't really matter if they're the tinsel style or if they're the Chenille style stems, as long as, you know, you just need something to cut them with. I am going to cut mine in half. The last one I did, I cut it in thirds, and I felt like I was struggling with some of them. So I want to cut these to see if they will, see if that'll make it better. I wonder if this will cut it better. All right. So 6, let's see. Nope. We're just going to keep using the scissors with these because that, and I'm sure some of y'all right now are probably going, no, what are you doing? Sorry, guys. Cut more than one at a time. Not going to bore you guys making you sit here and watch me cut all of these up. So I am going to do a time lapse. See you when I'm done. I don't know exactly how many of these I'm going to need. I'm sure I'm going to need more than this, but I don't know exactly how many. So I'm going to only cut these for now, and then if I need more, I'll cut more of these. Put those to the side and cut some of the Deco Mesh. These I'm going to cut at 6 inches. And I bet I could use these or use this to make it easier. Check that out. Y'all didn't see that. These, when I use these, I'm going to roll them up to use them. Cute. We shall see. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 18 here. Again, I'm not going to make y'all sit here and watch me do all of these, so I am going to do another time warp thing. You know what I'm saying. I am going to cut, I am probably going to cut the whole, if not half, of this container, of this one roll, and then we'll go from there and see what we need. See you guys when I'm done. Okay guys, so as I was cutting, I noticed that this was just not going to work. So when I opened up the ribbon, this ribbon from Dollar Tree will do great for bows because it's got the wire in it. I didn't realize when I got it. I guess I should have read on here because I'm sure, well actually it doesn't say on here that it's wired. Nowhere that I can see anyway. So this will be great for my bows, for making bows. So I'm going to put this aside. That would not be good for what I had originally envisioned. So we can't use that. I did try a test run on using some of this ribbon. And while this is really cute ribbon, it gets lost in the center here. So that didn't work out so well. That's okay, because again, I can use it for bows, no problem. Then I took my my tube mesh, and I did the loops, and I just doubled up the dark green and the white, and I thought, hey, that looks really cute. So we're gonna do a combination, and guys, this is either gonna turn out really cute or really horrid. Either way, when it's done, this is getting hung up in my home. Cute or not, it's going to get hung up because I'm going to make it. That's the long and the short of it. So, and I've decided against using the tool for now. That may change later, but for right now, I've decided against using it. We'll see after. The good thing is when we're putting it on our wreath form, you're putting it on with the Chenille stems or the pipe cleaners or the tinsel stems. We're actually using the tinsel stems. So you can remove it, add something, move it around. That's not an issue. So if I decide that, hey, you know, I think I want to put some of that really cute green tulle in there, I can still add it. That's not an issue. Step 2, putting your pieces together. Okay guys, in this step, what we're going to do is we are going to trim that off. We're going to go ahead and put our pieces together. Before we put them on the wreath form, we're going to go ahead and put them together. I cut enough of the Deco Mesh to do 10 little bundles. I'm not sure how much of the tube mesh I cut, because I just cut a whole pack of both the green and the white, so we'll see how many we get out of that. I only set aside enough tinsel stems for 10 of each, and then we'll go from there. So let's put those together. We're going to start with the Deco Mesh, and I have a whole bucket of each color that we can put it together. Alright, move that to the side. Get one of each color. They're all 6 inches apart, or 6 inches a piece, not 6 inches apart. Alright, and roll them. And just hold on to it. Kind of piece it together. And find that center part. Take your tinsel stem or your chenille stick or stem, put it in the center, pull it tight. I like to kind of bend it like this, and then twist. Give it a couple good twists. You can kind of flare it out when we put it on the stem, on the wreath form. They don't roll like in complete circles, I've noticed. Or maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just not doing it right. I thought rolling was just rolling, but like some of them are kind of, and it might be the way I cut it. Any suggestions, any tips? Guys, you know I'm all ears. Hit me up in the comments below. Find that center, pull it together, and then grab it tight as you can and twist. Like I said, guys, this is either going to be really cute or really not so much cute. I'm going to do a little time warp while I get the rest of these done. I'll see you when I'm done. Alright guys, that's 10 of the Deco Mesh bundles, I guess is what you could call them. I actually cut one too many of the green ones. Not a problem, because we're going to use them. I'm going to need it for the next set of bundles. Alright. These are really cute, actually. Now to do the mesh tubes. Now to do these. Right. To do these, you need, since I only have 2 colors, and this is where I made the mistake. I decided to do the Wreath of the Month, and then St. Patrick's Day stuff was already out. I didn't get to Dollar Tree in time to get what I needed, because you know they're usually a couple of holidays ahead. Like Easter's already out and probably mostly sold out. Luckily, I've already got what I need for Easter, just because when I saw the Deco Mesh and some of the decorations for Easter, I was like, oh, I want to make one of those. So I went ahead and bought those. I did not think about making a St. Patty's Day wreath, so I didn't. That was my mistake. But that's okay. Now, put my little pipe cleaner. We're going to try this. Put my pipe cleaner in, and then we're going to make a loop, pinch, loop. Hopefully it's long enough. And then another. Pull that in a little bit. And then another loop. Some of my loops are perfectly fine lengthwise. Oh, I made that one work though. Okay. Pinch it like we did the Deco Mesh. Pinch it, twist, pull it as tight as you can, and twist it a couple times. When you do this, if you see that you've got a couple that are too long, snip, snip. No problemo. Repeat that process. We're going to make a few more of them. Time warp again. Last one. I'm going to say this. If you have any kind of arthritis, this could be painful. Just be aware of that. Okay, I had just enough of the green to make 7 of these bundles. And with the white, I think I had 2. I had 3 pieces left. So we have 7 of the mesh bundles, and we have, mesh tube bundles, and we have 10 of the Deco Mesh bundles. Now it's time to put it together and see what we got. Step 3, putting your bundles on your wreath form. Okay, so we had 7 of these and 10 of the Deco Mesh. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do 2 Deco Mesh and then a mesh tube. And we're going to see how that looks. So to put these on your form, you're going to take your 2 legs, so to speak, of your tinsel stem, and you're going to put them in between these 2 center bars. Put them together, pull tight, and twist. Remember, nobody's going to be able to see your tinsel stems, so it doesn't matter what color they are. So we're going to put 2 of these. And then 1 of the Deco Mesh. So 2 Deco Mesh, 1 mesh stem. And if I figured correctly, we should end with the tubes. The tube. Which means we will use 10 Deco Mesh bundles, 5 of the mesh tube bundles. 1, 2. Once you get, that'll put 15 on this, in this piece. We can fluff it out too once we're done with the section. That should put 15 on here. Let's see how this works. That was 2. I feel like the tube is getting kind of lost. In translation, so to speak. I guess you spread it around like that. And that looks good. Feel like, let me try spacing these out a little bit. We got 6 on there, 6 of the Deco Mesh, and 3 of the other, 3 of the mesh tubes. I'll get it out in a second, guys. Y'all know how I am. You don't want it so crowded that you can't see anything, but you won't want it sparse to where you see the wreath form. Well, I do like that. I want to see what it'll look like with 2 more, but at the same time, if you put too much on there, kind of feel like that's the golden ticket right there, because that's spread out. They say rule of thumb is 10 Deco Mesh when you're using 4 colors, 10 of your Deco Mesh per little section. Well, if you think about it, we just used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 9. I kind of feel like I want to go ahead and try the next. Because that's kind of sparse. I'm going to go ahead and add 1 more set. So 2 more Deco Mesh. Slide it on down. 2 more Deco Mesh and 1 more of the mesh tubes. And remember, if it doesn't fit, we're putting it on with pipe cleaners or tinsel stems. It's not a problem. We can always take it off and move it to the next section. So let's see how it looks. There's 1. and slide that down. This is getting to be a tight fit. I don't know that we'd have got all on here. Like that. Now, space it out. Pull your tubes out. So that you can see them in between each little section. And I don't know, guys, what do you think? That looks better, I think. I like it. I think it's just the right amount. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections to go. We used 2, 3, 4. 4 of the Deco Mesh. I'm sorry, 4 of the mesh tubes. I keep getting those mixed. 4 of the mesh tubes and 8 of the Deco Mesh. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 8 times 5 is 40, so we need 40 more of each color. And I did notice, I'm not always the most, I don't pay as much attention sometimes as I should, or as I think I do. I thought these were 2 different colors. They're not. There's a little funny for you guys. So because these 2 are the same, I'm just using 2 of these per, and then 1 of the gold and 1 of the green. And I think that this is really all that we're going to need. Not bad for just whipping it together, right? So let's go ahead and cut out the rest of your Deco Mesh. You need 40 more of each color. And then you need 4 of these of the mesh tubes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 20. So you need 20 more bundles. We already have 3, so 17 more bundles. Go ahead and get them cut out. Fill in the rest of your wreath, and I'll meet you back when we're done. Well, it has been a couple of days since I started this tutorial on putting together the St. Patty's Day wreath. It took me a couple of days because of work, and time that I have in the afternoon is limited, but it is done. And I think, considering that I had no real direction when I started, I think it turned out pretty good. So once you get all the pieces on your wreath form, now you want to go through and just make sure that you kind of fluff out. The main part you really have to work on is the mesh tubes. Just kind of make sure you can see them, basically. Fluff them out around. I've kind of been fluffing a little bit as I go. And that's really the best way to do it. Each section had 8 of the Deco Mesh and 4 of the mesh tubes. The mesh tubes, I did not cut those, and I don't think I mentioned this in the beginning. I cut the Deco Mesh at 6 inches for the length. The mesh tube, I cut at 24 inches, not 6 inches. And then I just kind of wrapped it like in a bow. I believe I showed you guys that part, but 24 inches was the length for the mesh tube. Now, the only thing left to do is to put our centerpiece on, and then to trim any loose pieces. And some of the pieces will just come right off, and some of them won't. Step 4, add your centerpiece. This step is optional. So this is going to be our centerpiece. And I'm going to attach this one a little different. Let me rephrase that. I'm going to attempt to attach this one a little bit differently than I did our Valentine's Day wreath. Instead of adding our pieces to the back, I'm going to remove this part and I'm going to attach it using floral wire. This wire I got from, I believe Hobby Lobby. It was either Hobby Lobby or Michael's. But I'm using the floral wire because I feel like it'll fit through here and it'll disappear into the mesh without you being able to really see it. So let's go ahead and take this off. Bam. Easy peasy. I like this little thing. Just pull it right on out. No problems. Cut it with a pair of scissors. And I'm going to run it through the front. So I'm going to run it through the front here. This actually, because you'll see that wire. So you still see a little bit of the wire, but maybe if I pull it through, and I'm just twisting. The cool thing about this, doing it this way, guys, is you can cut, after, say next year you decide you want a different centerpiece, you can remove this wire and put a different one on there. So I'm going to thread this wire, if I can find it. I'm going to thread this through the wreath form. I'm trying to straighten that piece out a little bit. This will be fun. All right. Want it about like that. And I'm going to thread it through the mesh. I'm going to part it a little bit to thread it through and then just pull it. I say just pull it and then it gets hung up on me. Hold on, guys. Flip. What are we hung up on? Ha! And that was all it took. Just flip it around. Because you have the chenille stems across here, make sure you're coming up through that middle, the two middle bars, I guess you call them, the two middle bars. Come up in between those so you'll be dead in the center. And then make sure when you go back through that you're going back through in between the two bars. So you can see that in between the two bars. I'm going to go from one end to the next end. Separate it a little bit so you can get it through without any problems. And then just pull it through. Flip it back. And go back through the hole. Pull it tight. Now, you can choose to wrap this here, or you can go back through, which is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to wrap it from the back. Find it. I'm going to pull it tight. Make sure I have this exactly where I want it. Flip it. And I'm going to, actually before I cut it, I'm going to wrap it a couple times right there. Then I'm going to cut it to make it a little easier to manage. And just wrap it underneath a couple times underneath the wire. Just go underneath the wire and kind of wrap it around a couple times. Get it where you want, snip the rest. And you can even free form just like that. And then you just want to go through and trim any of the pieces that are just, I don't know, stragglers, I guess you would call them. This is also something I kind of do as I go. I've learned that the more you do as you go, the less you have to do at the very, very end. And your wreath is done. You can choose to put a bow on here as well, or you can choose to do a bow instead of the centerpiece, or you can, you know, leave it without, just leave it plain. That's fine too. It's really your choice. It's your wreath. And that's all there is to it. Considering I had no real direction when I started this, and I just kind of let the creativities take me where they will, I think it turned out pretty cute. I even like the centerpiece. I think that maybe one of these wreaths, I'm going to try my hand at a bow and see how that looks, or maybe even kind of play with this a little bit and maybe add a bow before I hang it up on my door. Not too bad. And I like the combination of the Deco Mesh with the Deco tubes. I think that looks really cute together. Kind of gives a little bit more character and a little bit more pizzazz maybe. Originally, when I first thought about doing one of these wreaths, I thought, I don't want to do Deco Mesh. I want to do just the mesh tubes and see how that looks, because I've seen it on YouTube and I've seen them in pictures and I've seen them at craft fairs. And I thought, well, that's what I want to do. But because I didn't think about doing the wreath of the month until I did the Valentine's Day wreath, pretty much most of our St. Patty's Day items for wreath making at our local Dollar Tree was pretty much sold out. So I ended up having to go to a couple of different ones, and I got what I could. But I really like how this looks, so I'm really glad in the end that they didn't have what I originally was looking for, because I think this looks really cute. And I think it's pretty well put together. So the next wreath we'll do will be our Easter wreath, and I already have everything I need for that one. So it's going to be fun. And I've already got a plan for that one, so the creative juices have already flown. Until next time. Keep crafting your best life.